Hey, it's Trey, and welcome to my very first Dover Free Friday. I think is what I'm going to call it. And I actually had already started this video and done all this, and then my son came home, and I went to pause the video, and instead of pausing the video, I stopped the video. And then when I went to go and hit record again, I actually deleted the other videos. So this is where we're going to start. I'm using alcohol markers. I just got this set yesterday and swatched them all out. I love swatching like this. I got the idea from the coloring kid, and she got the idea from someone else, and I apologize, I can't remember the name. But yeah, I just love swatching like this. This is awesome. I picked out a brown for the kitty cat, and this is a French vermilion. And this is the reason why you should swatch out your colors, because as you can see, the lid and the color of the lid and the real color is not even close. So yeah, so this is what I used for the center of the flowers, and now I'm trying to decide if I'm going to make this, but I'm wondering if I should go ahead and do the background of this. I got a little brown in the eye there, so I'm not happy about that. But it is what it is. I think I will. I'll just use this. So on Fridays, Dover sends out samples of their books. And I love it. It's so nice to have a sample. And I just printed this out on just plain cardstock. So I'm really kind of just testing these markers on this cardstock because these markers are new to me and coloring on cardstock. It doesn't seem to really be picking up the ink from the inkjet, which is good. It's laying down pretty good, not too streaky. The flowers look a little streaky, but then again, that may not be the markers, that may be me, because I'm really not a marker colorist. I am a colored pencil, watercolor type colorist. And lately I've been really getting into coloring in kids' books. They're just so super cheap, and they've got all these great images of dragons and princesses and unicorns. And it thrills my heart. I just love it. Sometimes the adult coloring books, they're so expensive, and you're just like, ugh. Yeah, I'm just now getting into alcohol markers. I have a smaller set, and then I have these, and I'm so mad about these. Not the markers themselves, because the markers themselves are great. They're all juicy. They all lay down really well. But I got mine on AliExpress, which I love AliExpress. I get lots of stuff off AliExpress, but you have to wait a long time to get it. And so it took a long time to get here, and I paid like $29 for these, and I thought I got a good deal. And I guess at the time that I bought them, it was a good deal. But then Jamie Loves Coloring, I believe is the channel, did a review of these just the other day. And she said she got hers from Amazon. So I went and checked, and it was like $25 Prime. And I am a Prime member. So that was super frustrating to me that I could have got them cheaper on Prime. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. There's a flower behind there. Because there's a little, I don't know if I really want to do that. I may just ignore that for now. I might just white it out later. So that was like super annoying. And, you know, I found some other markers that were probably cheaper than these, which is also super annoying. But You live and you learn, and I have them now, and it's all right. You don't always make the best choices in life, and you never know. So I made the best choice that I could at the time. I just realized that I just made these flowers the exact same as these. What I meant to do was use the intercolor. Oh, Freebie. Oh no. I've messed up my picture. Don't you just hate that? You try so hard and you still screw up. I meant to make this like a mellow yellow. I mean a melon melon yellow. A mellow yellow. Okay. Well, we're going with this because this is what it is, and I can fix it with shading and all, but still, dang. I really love that Dover gives you free samples of their books, and they usually give you like 3 to 6 pictures, which is really nice. Like this one, I think you got 6. You may have got 5. I can't remember. But there are just some books that I see, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's going to be so good. And then I look at the samples, and I'm like, oh no, that's nothing like I want to color. Like maybe that they've taken like an actual painting or something, and the way that they do the shading line just looks really weird. And I was like, no, not into that. And then there's others that I'm like, nah, I don't know if I would like that or not. And then I look at it, it's stunning, absolutely stunning. I really liked all the ones of the cat one. I'm a big cat fan though. Although I don't really have a lot of cat coloring books. But I love cats. But I thought this one would be cute. It may be something that I might be able to get done on camera. They're also like demoing Home Sweet Home. These are all Creative Haven books. And the Home Sweet Home one looks really nice, but it is so intricate. And it wasn't something that I was very interested in doing on camera. Anybody have any plans for the 4th? My community canceled their 4th of July parade, which was really sad because, number one, they did not cancel it until this week. So many people had already made their floats and everything, and it just that to me that was awful. Why wait so long to do that? But it is what it is. I guess they really were trying, but apparently my county made national news yesterday for having a spike in the virus. I don't know. I've not been watching the news lately. I can't handle it. I just, I didn't even know we had like a coin shortage until like last night, and somebody mentioned it at clogging class. And I was like, what? I cannot believe I used the wrong color on this. I'm so mad at myself. So lately I have been really into coloring mainly kids' books. I just love to color kids' books. They're so fun. The images are so nice. In fact, I just picked up some today that I'm pretty excited to color in. Most of the time then you have like activities too, which don't care for those. But I do have some nice images. I'll show you what I colored. I got a couple. I think I got this book actually when we were in Asheville. We went to Goodwill. And I did magical, and I used glitter glue in the background that I believe Jeremy had gotten me for Christmas. And I also added some like gold gel pen, like in the eye and the horn and the stars. I got this from Dollar Tree just the other day, and I've done 2 in it. I've actually done this turtle, and actually that's baby oil from the other side because I did this one, and I was working with blending with baby oil. I got way too much oil up there. Just, I blended it all with baby oil, but I had way too much on my cotton swab, and I didn't realize it when I did that, and then it was too late, and I put stencil in the background. So yeah, but those are the 2 on that. But there's some just really cool little images in here. And then the only bad thing is like the paper and that, they're double-sided, and also you can't use like super tips go through, and so you have to use like colored pencils or crayons. Oh, look, it's the monster. So yeah, it was funny when I was coloring this one. It took me a couple of days, and I told my husband I was coloring a picture of him. And let me show you what I got today. Let's just stop right here for a little haul. I got this one I got these at Dollar General. And it's just mermaids. And it has a lot of, color this and word searches and stuff. But I thought it was cute. I thought some of the images were really, really cute. I thought they would be fun to color. And then this is my favorite. I got a couple of SpongeBob books. So I'm happy to color SpongeBob. I got this one too. And they were all $1. So yeah. And then I found this one too, Lisa Frank. I actually got this one at the grocery store, so I had to go by the grocery store, and it was $1. But there was one in here that I just thought, wow, that's really intricate. It looked really cool, and I can't remember now. I can't see it, but Lisa Frank was all the rage when I was a kid. So I thought I might have fun coloring some of these, maybe cutting them out and putting them in my art journal or whatever. So yeah, this one, I was like, wow, that that is nice. That's a pretty nice picture. So yeah, so those, and I got this the other day, strawberry shortcake. I haven't done anything in it yet. So yeah, dun, dun, dun. Back to what we were doing. Using this stupid pen. Coloring these stupid flowers. All the same stupid color. Oh well, it happens. That's one of the reasons I think I like working in pencil, because at least with pencil I could kind of erase it and maybe get away with it and say, nah, this wasn't what I was going for. With marker, you're just kind of stuck. But like I said, I could always put like a different color over these and make them look different, either a marker or a pencil. I probably will not finish this picture while I'm on, simply because I don't think that I can talk for that long to myself. I almost did a live, but I would still be talking to myself. Because at the time, I've only got like 80 subscribers, so I don't know that anybody would come to my live if I did. Except for trolls. I'd probably attract a lot of trolls, and then I'd spend my whole time kicking them out. So I just figured I'd do a video, color and chat, and that way I could stop it if I need to. Because, like I said, my son coming in and out. He's been hanging out with his friend, and he's getting ready to go back out with them. He's in there watching Rick and Morty, I think. I shut the door so I couldn't hear it. I'm going out to eat with my friends tonight, which I'm pretty excited about because I haven't seen them pretty much since March. They're actually my coworkers, and I've been working from home since March with no plans going back into the office anytime soon. I can do my entire job at home, and I was already working at home for 3 days a week, so it's really no great loss me not being in the office. But the only thing that I miss is seeing my fraternal life partner, Jared. He is like 25 years my junior. Yeah, in fact, I am like the same age as his mother, so I call him my work son, and I love him. We are best friends, and if you would have asked me, would you ever be best friends with a 26-year-old? I would say no way, but he just came in and stole my heart. He's just the sweetest kid and so smart. It's funny because for the longest time at my job, I was the only one who knew the job that I was doing. And it was tough because I couldn't take like vacations and things like that because there was nobody else there that could do my job. And then Jared came in, and even though he wasn't hired to do anything remotely like my job, he was really, really interested in like pulling data. Like he would ask me to pull data, and I would. And then he would be like super interested in how I did it. So I started, at first, I was just like, dude, I don't have time to explain this to you. But he just was really insistent on like knowing what I did, how I did it, how all the data tables linked together. And I was finally, I want to say, fed up almost. And I was like, "Do you really want to know how I did this?" And he was all like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I do. I want to know. I want to know." So I started teaching him, and lo and behold, he did great. He picked it up like gangbusters. So now I've taught him a lot of my job, and I keep telling him that I'm going to retire and leave it to him, which scares him, and I love it. I love scaring the heck out of him because he's like, "No, you can't leave me. Please don't leave me. I can't do what you do." But I really am. I am going to leave him. I'm going to leave him to do my job eventually. He just doesn't realize this yet, but by the time that I leave, he'll be able to do it all. There's no way I would leave him in a bind. I love him too much. He is like a son to me. I don't really like that there, so I'm going to probably color over it, but some of this line art is a little confusing. I'm looking to this side and this side didn't because it's mirrored. Yeah. It's a free page. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm mainly just testing out my markers. Seeing how they do on this cardstock, which they seem to be doing good, and they're not smearing the inkjet, which is nice. I really don't like that design on the pot. So I don't know what I'm trying to move it. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I don't like it at all. I'd like to just paint over it. And maybe I will, but I won't make you guys sit here and watch me paint that. That would be like super, super boring. More little branches down here. We're dog sitting and I can hear the dog trying to get in. Because I shut the door because, like I said, Kenan is watching Rick and Morty. Actually, I think he may be watching SpongeBob now. I think I just heard Squidward. Easy for me to say. All right, so let's talk about this coloring book, Creative Haven Cats. This is our free sample from Dover this week, one of them. I think there was like 6 in the sample of this. Another one that I considered doing was Creative Haven Home Sweet Home. It had some really nice images, but they were very intricate, and I just didn't feel like intricate. I felt like open and simple. I had to take a drink. So this is what I went with. I'm trying to decide. The cat didn't look too streaky. He's looking pretty good. The flowers are a little streaky. I really want to do this in a turquoise type blue, but I'm like, do I want to do it all in alcohol marker? Do I want to break out some paint? I don't know. Maybe I ought to break out some paint because I'd like to know how paint does on this cardstock as well. And I'm trying to figure out what that is. Is that part of this design? I have to say, I don't care for the stamped images. It's like boom, boom, boom. I'm sure it's boom, boom, boom on this side as well. I don't much care for that. Well, actually, I don't know if I'm looking at it might not be stamped image because you do have this one little puff right there. But it's hard to see because, well, you would have just seen a couple of lines right there. Maybe they just removed the lines from both sides. What should I do, guys? Should I break out the paint? I do have some pretty neon over here, and I have some pretty blues and it's kind of the same kind of blue that I was going to go with. I was going to go with this baby blue, although on the marker it says like Bady blue. It's Bady. I'm pretty sure they meant baby blue, but hey. So, but I have this. He's definitely listening. Anita's. He's definitely watching Rick and Morty. I had to listen. I just heard the theme song. Do 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 do. It's a weird show. Speaking of weird shows, what have you guys been watching lately? We have been watching Dark by it's a German show and it's about time travel. And let me tell you, it's hard to keep up with. So hard to keep up with. Because you got these same characters, but they're in like 3 different I'm trying to figure out what paintbrush will work good. I think that'll work. They're in like 3 different times. So and then they're all connected somehow. Like, oh, it's so and so's kid. Oh, I got water there. It's like, oh, that's so and so's kid, and I'm trying not to say too much because I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, it just gets a little crazy sometimes. You're just like, it's one of those that you just can't like sit back and do something else while you're watching it. You definitely have to pay attention. You just, there's no way around it. So does this count as a color in chat if I'm painting? I've been really looking at a lot of the paint by numbers. I have a couple of like color by numbers. I've got like I believe it's whatever mosaic. I can't remember now. But Mindware, I know is the company. I forgot what mystery. Are they mystery mosaic? But anyways, it's Mindware, and I have like three of those maybe. I don't remember. I have not worked in them in a long time, but I got them like in the early spring when we went to Cincinnati, and then I've got like some that I got from the Dollar Tree. But I don't know. Color by number's really not my thing, but paint by number, I've been looking at those because they look so cool. But I wonder if they really turn out like that. Because some of them I'm just like, how? How in the world would I ever be able to paint that? I used to love doing paint by number when I was a kid. You get those little pots of paint and you get that board. Oh, I love those. I used to always love getting those velvet pictures as well. You know, the thing that I hated the most about those sets is like you'd get those markers, right, and you'd start coloring, and then they would be so dry. And then before you ever finish the picture, they would dry out. It would just be horrible. That is one of the ways that I quit smoking. I went and got a huge velvet poster, and it was like a peace sign, and I think it said peace on it. I don't even remember now. Just had different like 70s stuff, hippie stuff. And every night when I would come home from work, I would just sit down and watch TV and lay on the floor, and I'd color on that thing with my markers. And that's just what I did. And I just tried, anytime I thought about smoking, I would just go and get my poster and a marker, and then I would just start coloring until the cravings passed, or I had to, get up and do something else and like go to work or whatever, and I couldn't smoke. So, yeah, it was one of the best things I ever did. I had forgotten about that. I don't know what happened to the poster. I think I finally threw it away because it reminded me of smoking. So I had to throw it away. Like there's certain movies that I cannot even. Am I in frame? Make sure my big head's not in here. There are certain movies from the 80s that I absolutely cannot watch at all because it reminds me of smoking and I want a cigarette every single time. There's songs that I don't listen to. In the Still of the Night by Whitesnake. I cannot listen to that song. I hate it when it comes on the radio because it reminds me of smoking. And I'll tell you the story. We used to go to Myrtle Beach every year for a vacation, and there was this underage club there, this teenage club. It was so super cool. And they had like a band that would play, this cover band. They just played cover songs and stuff. And I'd go like every single night. Like after dinner, I would go and get dressed up and I'd go to this club. And they had, I can't remember, I think they had like pool tables and stuff like that. But you could get sodas and you can sit around and talk and meet people and all that. And I would go and I'd listen to the band and dance and all that. And every single night, one of the songs that they played was In the Still of the Night. And that at the time that was just I loved Whitesnake. I loved anything that was heavy metal, hair metal, whatever. That was just me. And so every time that they would play In the Still of the Night, that part that it got like gets kind of slow, I would always light up a cigarette because you could smoke in there. And of course, that was my rebel thing to do. Was I was a smoker, and so I would always light up a cigarette at that part. And usually that was like the only cigarette I would smoke that night because I only had like one back, so it had to last me for like a long time. So that was like my smoking song. So when that slow part, ooh baby, whatever comes on, I would light a cigarette. And even now, after all these years, because I mean it was like every single night for like 5 nights, I would do that. And now, even now, every time I hear it, it just takes me right back to that place and that time. And when that passage comes on, I just want a cigarette so bad. Which is funny because I can be around my friends who smoke, like some of my clogging girls, they were smokers. They've quit now, but at first they were smokers. And I would, after class, they would have a cigarette, and I would sit out there with them while they were smoking and talk. And never once did I ever want a cigarette, ever, ever, ever. But yet, there's still some movies that I can't watch because it'll remind me of smoking, and I can't handle. It's funny because it's like a personal memory, so I can't. I'm trying to think of a movie now, but I can't. But it's probably like maybe 16 Candles, or if somebody's smoking in one of those movies, one of those old 80 movies, then it's hard for me because that was my time. I was a teenager in the 80s, which according to my son was I'm lucky. That was the greatest time to ever live, and that I'm lucky I grew up in the 80s. He's like, I would have loved to grown up in the 80s, and I'm like, probably not. You wouldn't have all the same advantages you have now, like the internet and being so connected with your friends. Although I have to say, I'm happy I grew up in the 80s and not today. I would I would be so much trouble with the internet. I would. I'd probably be one of those girls who were like half dressed and had all these old men as followers on her Instagram. Oh, and then not see anything wrong with it. because I just saw myself as such a rebel and all that, and I was so naive. God really protected me in a lot of the things that I did. That is for sure. For sure. Well, this looks very streaky, especially since I went every which way but loose on here. But like I said, it's a free picture. Who cares? And I'm having fun. Hope you guys are coloring something cool. Hit me up on Instagram and show me. I'd love it. You can tag me and let me see. And say, hey, I colored this along with you while you were coloring that ugly cat. My sole purpose in starting my channel was to show that, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be D.D. Willingham to paint and to color and to make mixed media and to have fun. And that it's all about being creative. That being creative is the goal. And that, even what Dee Dee says, she's like, she didn't get there overnight. Yes, she has a lot of natural talent that I will never have, but she's practiced like all of her life. I don't know if she like has a degree in art or anything. Does anybody know? But I can tell you, just the more that you do it, the better you will be. And even if you don't ever get better, who cares? Just do it. Her art is not going to hang in the Louvre. It's not. Trust me, people, it's just not. Nobody is ever 200 years from now going to go to the Louvre and see, oh, this is that cat coloring by Tracy. And when I die, my son is not going to go, oh, my mom and her cat painting. Sure, he may actually pick out a few things that I've done that, he likes or whatever. But ultimately, this is for you. You don't, it doesn't matter how many likes you get on Instagram. It doesn't matter if you get reposted. None of that matters. Just have fun. You don't have to put it on Instagram. Do it for yourself. If you put it on Instagram and share it with people, I would love to see what you do. Whether it be painting or glue books or whatever. You're getting ready to get the famous Tracy speech, so everybody buckle your seatbelts. I think it's very important to be creative as often as you can in your life. It helps you in so many different ways that you don't even know. It helps you to connect with the side of your brain. I don't even want to say side. Let's just say the part of your brain that has no language, that is your subconscious and deep thinking and creativity. That even if you think you're not being creative, you are. If you're just doing this and you're just picking out colors, you're being creative. If you're putting down colors, if you're just looking at these lines and saying, oh, that's a couch, and then you color a couch or whatever, you are being creative and you're tapping into something. If you're cutting out a page in a magazine and you take that and you glue it to a different page in a magazine, it's being creative and it's tapping into something. And it helps you as you age. It helps you with your reflexes, with your responses. It helps you to think outside the box. I can remember a very specific example where I was in a meeting and they were upset because they wanted to put this code on the letters. But the code had uh, had like letters in it. I realize that sounded stupid. Like, okay, we send out letters as part of our business, and they wanted to have a certain code that people could call in, and then they could put in the code on the phone. Well, the code that they wanted to use was like it was like our client's account number, and a lot of them had letters in it like V and A and stuff like that. And they were like, how can we, use this code and make sure that it's unique? And everybody was just, they had been like thinking about this for months, for months. And they just happened to mention it in this meeting that I was in. And and they were like, we just don't know what we're going to do. And I said, well, what's the problem? And they explained to me. And I said, well, why don't you just use our account number? Because it doesn't have any letters in it. And they all looked at me like I had two heads. They could not believe that I had came up with that answer so quickly, where they had been just banging their head on the keyboard for months because it never even crossed their mind. And I contributed 100% to the fact that I'm creative, that I color, that I do mixed media, that I do glue books, because I'm constantly tapping into that side of creative thinking. Therefore, I'm able to access it quicker than a lot of people. And there's so many times that something will happen, and all I have to do is now, as I just tell my supervisors or whatever, and actually, they're not really my supervisors. We're all kind of equal, but uh, there's like two people at my company that are like the head honchos kind of thing below the president. And they'll come to me and they'll say, this is what I want to do. How can we do it? And I'll say, just let me think on it. And they'll say, okay. And then in about a day, I usually have them an answer. And I'm not even actively thinking about it usually. I just say, okay, let me think about it. And then I just go and I do my regular job or whatever. And it'll just pop in my brain because my subconscious is thinking about it. And my subconscious is used to being used, If you don't use it, you lose it. That is so true. And that's the same thing, with thinking with your brain. When we're kids, we're so creative and all that because we color and we imagine and all that. And then as we get older, everything becomes very practical. We clean the house, we do the bills, we do our jobs. Everything is very blah, and we lose that creative side of ourselves. So it's always nice when you're able to tap back in to that part of yourself that is creative. I got some blue down there. There's been more and more studies that have come out that says that like coloring is really good for older people, and it's good to keep your brain young and all that. And I totally believe it. Totally believe it. But I'm also a firm believer in that you don't need all this fancy stuff. You don't need polychromos. You don't need Prismacolor. You really don't. You just don't. You can color and all that with, Crayola. I got so much blue paint left there. Let me pause you. I'm really going to pause you this time, and I'm going to stick that. Well, actually, I'm not. Let's just grab a glue book and let's just play a little. Let me see, which one do I want? Okay. All right, kitty, let's just move you out of the way for a minute. Let's just sit you over here and let you dry. tigers. This has a lot of blue on it. I can hear the dog outside. Did I tell you guys I'm dog sitting? I'm dog sitting for my in-laws while they're down in Daytona at their house. They have a house. And they were having like a whole bunch of house guests coming down. And so they didn't want to bring the dog and have the dog be underfoot. So she's staying with me while they're down there until after the 4th. I'm just lucky she's not a nervous dog, you know, like for the fireworks and stuff. We've had several thunderstorms and it hasn't even bothered her. She's really good. She's like a golden retriever mix. She's a pretty good dog. All right, we'll just put you aside and pull something else out. Like I said, I have so many of these going. This one I think is almost done. Maybe not. It does have a lot of peoples. There's a lot of the peoples in it. I don't see a lot of finished pages here. There's some. Accept the reality of who you are. When I do my glue books, a lot of times I'm talking to myself. Oh, this was a coloring page that I just did watercolor on. And I think I used like metallic watercolor and I put in here and then stenciled over it. This has got some blue. Use some blue on it. As you can see, I'm being oh so careful with this blue. Get some of my fingers in there. Just get my finger in there. That also help dry it so then I can just flip pages. Put some blue down here. Speaking of mixed media, the other day, my room was a mess. I call it my art studio, but you know, it's just, it used to be my stepson's room. But now he's like 23, so he doesn't really come visit us. He doesn't spend the night anymore. So I took over his room, and Jeremy's uses the closet for his clothes. God knows he's got a lot of clothes. And I was cleaning it up because it was starting to get a little cray. And I ended up gathering all the stuff that I need to like harvest, like brochures and mail and magazines and like books and all that. And I've got like 3 banker boxes worth of stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness, I have got to get back to this. But lately, all I want to do is color. I just want to color. I just want to color. Clean my brush out. This, in case you're wondering, I got these at Dollar Tree. And they're over in the party supplies. This is just a brush. This is just a sponge. One of those sponges with the green thing on them. I probably got it at Dollar Tree as well. I just cut it up and stuck it in here with a little bit of soapy water. And this is how I just clean my brushes. It does really well. And then also, I have some clean water over here too. Probably should clean my hands as well. I really like that. I think I saw that on YouTube somewhere. And then these I can wash out or whatever. But I have a stack of them that I keep right here. And I really like them for like just palettes. I think one of these is ink and one is acrylic. This was my black. So yeah. It's nice. Because then I can just grab one or whatever. I don't really use them so much for my watercolors, but... Alright, kitty. Where were we? Are you dry yet? You look pretty dry. Not bad. I don't know what else I want to do. I hate that. I hate that. I do not like it. I do not. Oh, I don't know what to do next. Because I'm thinking I want to make these brown. But I've already made my kitty brown. So I can make them a darker brown. Because I don't want to lose my kitty. I'm looking for my brown here. Let me get on camera as I look for my brown. Okay. So this is the kitty. He's brown. I could go with a rose beige or a terracotta. The rose beige, this is the reason I love these. I actually need to trim this a little bit more. But you can put it right up to the colors and then you can see how pretty it is. I really like the terracotta with the cat. That's just so dull, but that's popping and I like it. And I like it with the red. So I think I'm just going to make, and then the inset, I can make a dark brown. Alright, so I think I'm going to go with terracotta and burnt sienna. Let's try with burnt sienna first. And if I was 96, these aren't in order, so. Okay, y'all, can y'all see 96? There's rose beige, and there's terracotta burnt. Oh, it's 95. No wonder I can't find it. Jeez. People. Why do y'all even put up with me? Oh. So y'all got plans for the 4th? Will you be social distancing and just staying at home? Or will you be going to see friends? I don't think are going to do anything. Jeremy's going to grill. Ah, I screwed that up. I hate it when the alcohol markers spread like that. It bothers me. I don't know what some of these are. I guess it doesn't matter. It's my coloring page. I can do what I wanna. I can do what I wanna. I can make this part really brown. But he's gonna grill, I guess. And I think that's it. There's no fireworks displays. Usually Knoxville has a big one, and then we go and watch it from afar so that we're not in the traffic. But not this year. I think Macy's is doing like a big firework display on TV, but to me that's just not the same. But I know that there'll be plenty of people around in my neighborhood that will be shooting off fireworks, I should say. There was a family last year that, man, they had some nice ones. We had kind of played with the idea of going out and getting some of our own, because the first year that we moved into the house, we did that. We went and bought like $150 worth of fireworks and then shot them off. And the neighbors came out, and that's how we met them and all. And they, brought their launch chairs out and launched, and we had a good time. They really enjoyed it. And then they were like, the next year, they're like, "Are you going to do the fireworks again?" We're like, "No, not this year." For one thing, it's always so humid here. It's so humid, and it just, humidity and fireworks are just, they don't mix. And it nearly always rains on the 4th, it seems. So we usually have just been going and watching like the city's fireworks. But we were, like I said, we were going to do it this year since the city wasn't having any. But we're going to Denver in about 3 weeks because it's our 10-year anniversary. And we wanted to go somewhere. We're travelers. We love to travel. We absolutely love to travel. And we usually go different places, especially with like my clogging and his I'm trying to decide if I want to color that. You can always tell when I'm thinking because I just stop for no reason and stare. And usually with my clogging and his baseball, vintage baseball is what he plays. We're usually on the road every weekend during the summer. We used to take day trips to places, but then once I started clogging competitively, and then he played vintage baseball, we just travel for that and spend our money on that. But I have not competed. I've competed one time this year. I want to say that was in April. It might have been earlier than that. And we did really well, and we were really excited. And we were like, "Oh man, we're going to sweep it this year. We're doing so good." And because we're a relatively young team, we split off from another studio, so we are a pretty young team. And my director, she's like really young. She just graduated college, and she's like in like grad school, young. And so we were all excited, and then they canceled everything. The last clogging thing we had was on March 13th, and we could have competed then, and we didn't. Instead, we did workshops. And we were kind of like, oh, we should have competed now, but I'm still glad we did workshops because I think those are important too, because you learn things that you wouldn't normally, because you don't learn anything at competition except for how nervous you are or how bad you are or if you're better than the other teams. You don't really learn that much. But yeah, it's nice to go to workshops and not have the pressure of learning, of having everything perfect. And then at the end, we also did a show the end of the night, and that's always fun. So we did, I'm trying to think, what was the theme? I can't remember what the theme was now. Cruising, I think, was the theme. And so we did the theme song to Love Boat, and it was so much fun. We all dressed up like formal night for a cruise and then did it. We've got this one little boy on our team. He's about 7, and he dressed up in a little tuxedo, and oh, he was so cute. And he went across the stage, and we all acted like we were swooning over him. I tell you, I'm so lucky with our director. She is flipping amazing. She's so talented. She has been clogging since she was very, very young, like 4 years old, I think, and competing. And then she also, in high school, she was like in color guard. So she knows so much about choreography and all that. She's just blows me away when she does choreography. So talented. And people don't get it. People don't understand, but choreography is really hard. And what makes her so amazing is that she will take whoever she's choreographing something for and really like play to their strengths. She's able to make something that will look good with them doing it and yet challenge them at the same time. So yeah, she made me a solo to compete with, which I still haven't competed anywhere with because hello, pandemic. um and it's so challenging, but yeah, it will look good once I can master it, but I still haven't mastered it because again, it's challenging. Is my head in the frame? I'm afraid that I look down and it's in frame, and then when I look up to see if it's in frame, it's not. Let me know if you see any gray and purple hair. That would be my head. We are supposed to compete August 1st in South Carolina. And we are crossing our fingers that we get to. Because dance is a lot more fun when you're working toward a performance, whether, competition or not. Competition, I could take it or leave it. I mean, it's fun to put your skills up against somebody. It's also nerve-wracking to put your skills up against somebody. But, in the end, it's a performance. And I just love to be on stage. It's in my blood. I enjoy it and it's fun. We just hit the hour mark. I hope you guys are coloring along with me. I know that when I color, a lot of times I will put on a coloring chat and just watch, or not watch, but listen. And sometimes I'll look up to see what they're doing, especially if they say, now here's where I shade, or, something like that. But to me, it's just like having somebody sitting there with me, talking with me while I color, and I like that. My husband doesn't get it, but then again, he doesn't get a lot about me. I don't really. I do watch some lives, like replays of lives, like Dee Dee's. I'll usually watch hers, and some others I might watch. But to me, it's not as fun because half of it is like, hey, Karen, hey, whatever. I couldn't think of any other name. Like, hey, Claire, what's up? Hey, Sharon, how's your mom doing? And I'm like, okay. Or they'll start talking to the people that are in the live. And it just, I don't know, I feel left out. And I really don't like the ones that don't include the chat so that I can't even see what they're commenting on. Because a lot of times they'll just get, and they have a real tendency to get real quiet because they're reading like the comments. And then it'll be like this. Yeah, Sharon. Yeah, I got that yesterday. And you're just like, okay, what was that? What did you just get yesterday? Or then they'll get really confused because somebody will make a comment on something and they weren't looking, and then they look up and they see the comment, and then they have no idea what that person had commented on, and you just want to go, they're talking about this. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. What cat? And you want to go, it was that cat picture you just showed 5 minutes ago. So yeah, sometimes I find the live ones kind of challenging because to me it's distracting to try to figure out, who they're talking to, or listening to them constantly say hi like they're on Romper Room. That just, it gets on my nerves. And I know if I ever do a live, I'll do the same thing because it's just what you do. You say hi to everyone. Did I miss anybody? That's just part of it. But oh, it just drives me bonkers when you're watching a replay. So I enjoy just coloring chats a lot better. And so I figured since I enjoy them so much, it's only fair that I contribute to the community because that's the way I feel. That's one of the reasons why I did start my channel. Just because I felt like that I was consuming so much of this community and I wasn't contributing. So I decided to hop on in. And at first, everything was mixed media, and I'm all like, yeah, Dee Dee Willingham and Cat Hand and all this. And then it was like almost immediately I just started coloring. And then I'm like, okay, and just watching all these videos on coloring, and I'm like, well, what am I? Am I going, is my video going, are my videos going to be um, mixed media? Or they're going to be, am I going to do color? And I always think my coloring is terrible because I'm just learning. I can't draw worth a lick. Of course, then again, I also think the same thing about my mixed media. But my message, again, is always, it's important to be creative. And that's my whole platform. So I decided that I would try to do my own little coloring chat. So here I is. And I'm going to try to do this like every Friday, but I don't know. We'll just have to see how that goes. It'll probably be late on Friday because usually I work on Friday, but I'm off today because of the 4th. And I really did try to take the day off because I am so bad to work. Just work, 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 work 7 days a week because I don't like being behind. Oh, I don't think I should have colored that, but I did, and so now it is. It's there. It is. I think that is a flower. There we go. I like that. I'm trying to keep my markers in order so that they match my swatches. My swatches. I used to never swatch. Never ever swatch. I thought it was stupid. I was like, I will never use that. Never. And then I was constantly, oh no, it's the wrong one. Shoes. Shoes. That's your new swear word of the day is shoes. Because I was like, if I put them in a book, I'm never going to pick up that book and look at those tiny little squares and they don't tell me anything. So I would always spend like 30 minutes or so just swatching out colors, trying to pick out like a palette. And then when I saw, oh, that's a flower. So when I saw the coloring kid upload her video, and I wish I could remember that other lady's name that actually came up with it, because I went and watched her video after the coloring kid. And I was like, oh man, yes, yes, now I get it. Yes, I would totally use that because I could just hold it right up to what I'm needing. I don't have to start a palette. I can create my palette as I go. As you can see, I've missed the spots, so I'm going back. I'm not even paying attention if I'm in frame or not, so sorry guys. You get what you pay for. Oh, my allergies. They've been so bad this year. If I repeat myself, I'm sorry, but I don't know. I can't remember what I talked about when I first did the cat and the flowers and lost that video. I can't believe I did that. I'm such a doofus. But my allergies have been really bad this year, which is surprising because they usually never bother me. I usually have no problems with allergies ever. Trying to look to see what I did up there. I did brown up there. Let's do brown in here. I mean, I may wake up like in the morning with like maybe a cough or something along that. I might cough a little bit or be a little bit more mucusy and have to like blow my nose and all that. But usually that's it. It's just an inconvenience, mainly in the morning when I wake up, and it's no big deal. But this year, oh, there were several days where I just felt horrible, where my face just hurt. Where my sinuses were. I just it hurt so bad, and I just felt so bad that I would just work and then I just lay around. When my husband would go, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I just don't feel good." And thank goodness we didn't have like clogging class. We had like clogging class on Zoom. So I didn't have to go anywhere. I just could walk downstairs and turn on Zoom and dance. And then I could sit down when I didn't feel good and not feel like I was holding up the team. Because a lot of times when you're in class and you're like out of breath or whatever, it's like your team will wait on you to feel better before they go. Even if you're like, no, I'm going to sit this one out. Y'all go. They're like, no, we'll wait. And then you feel bad because you're like, oh, I'm old and fat and I'm holding the team back. Because, yes, I am the oldest on the team and the fattest. So, yeah, I am probably the oldest on the team by at least 10 years at this point. There is another lady that's supposed to be joining us, hopefully, and she's actually 5 years older than me. And I'm pretty excited to have her come. I hope she decides to do it. We had 2 girls leave the team, which was devastatingly sad. One I understood because she just had a baby and she just turned 40. And I could not imagine having a baby at 40. And she had the misconception that you could just strap on the baby and go. That's what she used to tell this other lady. She's like, just strap on that baby and go and come. And that's what she'd always say. I'm just going to strap on the baby and come to class. And then she realized, yeah, that is really not that simple. It's just not. And then she started having a lot of anxiety about the virus too, which honestly, I would too if I had a newborn. I would not want my kid out, especially if she didn't have to. So she said she's not quitting the team, but she's bowing out for a little bit. And Daisy, my instructor, is like, I don't even know what that means. She's not quitting the team. And I was like, Daisy, she just don't worry about it. Just pretend as if she's quit the team because she's not coming back anytime soon. Because she's like, do we leave a spot open for her? Is she competing? And I was like, no, Daisy. She doesn't want to leave the team. She's leaving for a while. And that's what the other girl said too. And she had a lot of problems with like connecting with Zoom. So she got behind because she couldn't understand it. I mean, hey, it's difficult. And she got really frustrated. And then she started missing a bunch of class because she's got some stuff going on in her life where her husband, they just got married, but they've been together for probably 10 years. But they got married, and then he graduated UT, and he's ended up in a job where he's out of town for like 5 days a week, and it's hard. So she's like alone. It's been tough for her, and so yeah, she's just been really just frustrated with. She was in a job that she hated. She ended up quitting that, and she's just kind of in a state of flux. And everything was just so hard. I think a lot of it was she was depressed, so it was hard for her to come to class because she was so depressed. So yeah, I'm going to have to go here in a minute because I have a dinner date and I got to get dressed. So let's end it here. That's what we've done so far. I'll probably do the rest off camera and then I will update you guys. But thanks for spending the hour with me. I enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy this content. Give me a big old thumbs down if you hated it and wish I would never open my hick mouth again. But until next time, get out there and be creative. It is important for your life. Bye.